welcome back to my channel, Katrina's Creations. I am Katrina. This is just an update video of what I've been up to. As of just 2 minutes ago, I was making a nice cup of tea and I'd filled the kettle up to make the tea, and as I was pouring into my cup, some of the water splashed out and landed on the dog. It's only a little bit, I think, but I don't know exactly where it went on her, and she did cry. So I've got a wet towel and I'm just rubbing it down her back because I don't know exactly where it was. So I feel really guilty at the moment that I just burnt my dog. I think she's alright. You alright, Suki? You okay? You okay? Mm. So since I last did a video, I have done a bit of sorting out. If you're on my Facebook and Instagram, you would have seen pictures of me sorting out my stash. It did take all day. I did have help because there was no way I could have done it all on my own because I would have just given up. Right, she's gone. She obviously doesn't want no more of that. Do you want it? And I managed to sort most of it out anyway. I had this corner here that I had to sort out, and I started doing that this morning. If you want to drink, go and drink out your bowl. Nutty dog. I have gone through everything. All of my odds, bits and ends are in a box. Right, so I'll show you. Sorry, didn't mean to. Right. Ugh. So this is one box full of loose bits and ends and what have you. So I've got the winder out today, and I've been winding up all the loose balls. And then I've got another box, which I'm going to show you now. This box here. As you can see, this is mostly all squares that have either been crocheted or knitted. It was for a blanket that my sister was doing, because my sister knits. She can't really crochet that well, so one of my sisters, should I say. So she knitted loads of squares, and she was supposed to put them together to make blankets, and she never got round to it. So they're all here, and all of the crocheted ones that I've got are squares that I've done. There is other bits. Yep. So that one's basket weave. That is waffle stitch, sorry. That one's waffle stitch. Corner to corner. I have got loads of odd bits of squares. So I'm putting them together and making an odds and sods blanket, as my mum would call it. So I'll put that there and I'll show you what I've done so far. So this is some squares that I put together already, and I've crocheted just around. You can see there's a single crochet, and then on top of the single crochet I've then done a granny sort of border all the way round. So I've got that one, and I've got this one. Same thing, just 4 squares that I've put together and done the granny border around the outside, because these are eventually all going to go together and be a blanket. While I was doing that, I found another square that I really do like, and I thought I could put these in with it and use the odd scrap bits of wool that I've got a box full of there. So I made this out of scrap. This was just an oddball. I don't know the wool. It didn't have a label on it, so I don't know. It was a double knit, but I don't know what brand it was. It feels like it's 100% acrylic. but I don't know what brand it was. This is one of the squares that Mikey from the Crochet Crowd was doing. There was a set of 4 squares for a cow. The Karen £1 stitch along, that's what it's called. And this was, I think, week 2 of the squares, and I like this one. So I've done that one with an oddball. There is another row that you do. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sure there's another row of the popcorn stitch here, but I ran out of yarn. So I stopped where I ran out, and it just happened to be the right size, sort of. So, ugh. And they all kind of are the same sort of, if I get that all lined up right, the same sort of size, so that I can stitch them all together. And I've also got a white one. So that is what I've been doing with my scraps, and that is what I plan to do. Basically, all of those squares that I've got in there are projects that I think, oh, I'll start this, and then I start it and get bored and then stop. So instead of forcing myself to finish projects that I'm not really interested in doing anymore, and instead of wasting what I've already made, I am going to just put them all together and make a few blankets, and they will be for whoever in the family as presents, I suppose. So that's what I've been doing with that. So you will see more on that in future videos. So that's what I've just been doing. When I've not been wanting to pick up my project that I've got going at the moment, I've been doing this and making these. I just love the texture of this. I really do love it. It just feels nice, and I don't know. But yeah, very easy. There's a tutorial for it on YouTube, and there is the written pattern on the Yarnspirations website. So if you want that, just look for it. Look for the Crochet Crowd. You'll find it on YouTube and on their actual website, and Yarnspirations, all of that, and you'll find it. So that is just the little bits and pieces I've been doing. My main project that I have been doing, and again, another change of mind. Oh, and here's another one I've put together. I haven't done a border on that one yet. I did show you that I was working a C2C, corner to corner, for a mermaid blanket sort of thing that I was going to do for my niece. I got bored, and I've just undone it all and started something completely different. So I undone it, and it is for my niece, and it is with the colours that I had set aside for each of my nieces. So I then put that down, and I started doing her a mermaid tail. And the reason being is there's loads of patterns for mermaid tails, and there's hardly anything for the mermaid sort of things. And if I did wanted to do it how I wanted to do it, I would have had to have made a really, really big sort of blanket with a hood on, and I just wasn't really feeling that. So I undone it. I'm still using that white yarn. I've got the other ball here. I'm still using it. So I undone the last one, wound it back up into a ball, and have been using that. I've used that bit up, I think. Yeah, I'm sure I've used that bit up, and then I had to start this one. But I'm also, with that, I'm also using this colour. This was an Aldi Aran in the blue. I can't remember what the colour was actually called, because I don't know where I just put the band, and I had it not long ago because I just wound these up this morning. But yeah, it was an Aldi 400 gram big Aran ball. Cairo, mind my tea, boy, before you get burnt as well. So I've got 3 of these I wound up left, which is quite good really, considering how much I've used. So this is it. Sorry if the table's wobbling. Cairo is on a mission to irritate me. So this is what I've done so far. And this is for my niece Shania. Bearing in mind, she is 10, but she's very tall. She's near enough the same height as me. So I'm gonna keep going on this for a little while until I think I'll try and do it so it's a length long enough that I would actually be able to sit in it, and so it'd be my sort of length. So that's what I'm doing on and off. I did start doing it because it's that shell stitch, if you can see. I was building, it's like you build the row beforehand with your chains and your V-stitches, and then you go back with the next, well, I went back with the next colour and then did the shells. But when I got up to this point, because it opens up at the back, it got a bit complicated because with this way you was working in the round. So whenever I would get round, I could then just pick up my white and crochet with the white, and then when I got back, just pick up the blue, and that's what I was doing. I was just picking up and dropping. But then when I got to this bit here, where I had to go backwards and forwards, if I used the white to go one way, I couldn't then pick up, I had to pick up the blue to go the other way, and then when I got to the other way and finished that row, the white was the other side. So it was kind of virtually impossible to do it and continue it in this pattern. So this is why I then opted to use both colours and do it in stripes, which I've done up here. It does look very pretty. So this is, they're both Aran weight, number 4 for the people that are in the US. It started off using, let me think about this, I'm sure it was a 5.5. No, right, no, you started off using a 6mm hook all the way, where did we increase? Right, so you used a 6mm hook up until about there. Once you got to there, you did an increase in the shells. So when you first started doing the shells, it was double crochet 4, chain 1, and then double crochet 4 again, and then move on to the next shell. When you got onto the increase, we did a double crochet 5, chain 1, and then a double crochet 5, and then moved on to the next one. But then when we got further up the top, to give it a bit more of an increase, to make it look bigger, instead of doing more increases, the tutorial just said to change your hook size. So I then went from a 6mm hook to a 7mm hook, and that is what I'm using to finish all of these off. So I'm gonna get some of this done today because I want to try and get this finished and put this up. One of the reasons I changed my mind was because I went through all of my stash and everything that I've already finished, and I'd already done a mermaid tail before, which I did show you last year. I think that was November-ish time. Can you hear Cairo? He's such got a big mouth. So I forgot that I had it. So instead of me then doing all different things for different people, I thought I'll just carry on the mermaid tails, just do a different one. So Cleo, babe, come on, get down. Down. All right. So dog, not today. So yeah. So I went back to the mermaid tail. So basically, once I've done this one, I've got one more to make, and those are all going up for Christmas for my nieces. So nearly 2 down, 1 to go. So this is what I've been working on this week. Well, on and off between that and putting squares together and trying to work out what I'm doing there. Ooh. So yeah, that's basically it. I've just been trying to sort things out, use things up. I want to use up all of my odds and ends, and just trying to declutter slightly. Cairo! Oh, today's one of them days. I should lock the dogs away or put them outside or something, because you're all doing my nutting today. Yes, you are. Suki had her injection. I think last time I came on, I told you her and her son got jiggy with it when she was in season. Cleo, please. All right, babe. All right, done. So she had to go to the vets. They said that she can have an injection, like a bit like the morning after sort of thing. So she had to have an injection one day and go back and have another injection the next day, but at the same time. Me, being silly, didn't ask them how much it costs. I just thought, well, I'll get it done, then she won't have puppies and there won't be no problems, sort of thing. So I took her, and the first injection, got to the reception when I was leaving and I had to pay, and the lady tells me that's £54.96. I was like, what? For an injection of a little bit of liquid? I should have just gone to Boots, bought the morning after pill and given it to her, shouldn't I really? I don't know if that'd work. And then the next day I had to pay another £54.96. So basically it cost me £110 to stop her from having babies. She's getting done. They are both getting done. Actually, they're all getting done. But yeah, so also I had a hospital appointment this week with a rheumatologist consultant. If you are on my Facebook, you'll know about this already. I have been suffering for years with pain in certain areas of my body. A couple of years ago, I was told by the doctors that I had sciatica and I had endometriosis. And it turned out after them doing investigations that I didn't have sciatica and I didn't have endometriosis, and they don't know why I have all this pain. It turns out that it is fibromyalgia, and I was diagnosed with that on Monday morning. So now the doctors have been saying for a while that that's what they think it is. So now I've got the diagnosis. It's now trying to work out how do I live with fibromyalgia, knowing that I'm always going to be in pain. I'm never going to get rid of this pain. So that's just going to be a learning curve. But at least it's not in my head. Because for years I think the doctors have been thinking I'm a hypochondriac, and that just kind of, it put me at ease in a way, because now I know it's not in my head. I am actually in pain, but there's still nothing really you can do about it, which is a bit of a pain in the backside, but at least I know what's wrong with me. So I've had that this week. What else has been going on? Not a lot really. It's just been, today is Friday the 25th, I think it's the 25th. 25th of May, yeah. Today's the first day that it's been miserable all week. All week, it's up until today, it's been really nice weather. I think yesterday it started out quite gloomy, but by the afternoon the sun popped out and everything was fine. But today it's been raining all morning and it's absolutely miserable. So I am having a crochet day, I think, today. I'm going to get working on the mermaid tail and get some of that done, I suppose. So what else is there to discuss? See, I know everything I want to say, and as soon as I press record, I forget. It just goes straight out the window. So what's everyone else been working on? I haven't really been on Facebook that much, really. I've still got a few videos to watch. I caught up, and then I had a break for a couple of days, and then I went back on YouTube last night and I had loads more videos to watch. I think I'm up to Kim. Hi, Kim. I watched Ruthie Pimp Pumpkin, even though she's changed her name. Can't do that to me, because I know you're Ruthie Pink Pumpkin, but you changed your name and I can't remember what that is now. It took me long enough to remember the Ruthie Pink Pumpkin. Or is it just Pimp Pump? Oh, I can't even keep saying it. I don't know what I'm doing with life right now. Can you get your bum out my face? Cairo, come on, mind, boy. Mind. Come on. Mind. He's just sitting on his mum's head with his bum right in my face. Thanks for that. That's another thing I'm going to show you, because I have seen a couple of people do that this week. You saw the pictures of me sorting through my stash, and I didn't realise how much I had, and my sister actually had a go at me. She really had a go at me, and we was out one day. We went to a store that we have in the UK called B&M, and I was looking at yarn in there. My sister's like, "You're not getting no more yarn. You've got loads at home. You need to use all of that." And I was, oh God. And then my youngest sister, who's pregnant, she's having a little boy, she was round yesterday. I showed you the blanket that I made for her. It was the grey blanket that I did that was the virus stroke granny hybrid blanket. And she's got a pram. She bought a new pram, which is blue. I don't know whether the pram's electric blue or whether she wants the blanket electric blue. But she said, "Have I started this blanket for her pram?" And I was like, "No, I didn't know you actually really wanted another blanket." She's like, "Yeah, I want it in electric blue to go with the pram." I was like, "I haven't got any electric blue," which I don't think I have. Not electric blue. And then my other sister Jade looked at me and she's like, "You're not buying no more." And then my other sister who's pregnant said, "It's all right, I'll buy it for you." So people are still giving me more yarn, so it's not my fault. I didn't buy it. But yeah, so that's about it really. I know there's other stuff I've got to tell you, and for the life of me, I cannot remember. Absolutely cannot remember. I'm just looking around thinking, there's something around here that I've got to talk about, but I can't remember what it is. No, I don't know what it is. I was watching Candy Goth Creations. If you don't watch her, go over and have a look. She is making some really good crochet hooks out of the polymer clay. Her and her friend have teamed up, and I think they've started a page called the Polymer Maids. Don't quote me, I think that's right. But she has, because obviously I do the handles for your crochet hooks as well with the polymer clay. But hers that she's done, she's actually made mermaid tails, unicorn horns. And that's something I thought about doing, but then I thought, how do you do it? So I hadn't got around to that. Obviously, I had the hooks that I've done. I haven't got any in here at the moment, I don't think. None that I've done recently. This is an old one that I've done. But this was before I knew that you could sand them down and polish them. So these were like the very first ones that I made. Let me just show you. So many crochet hooks. And this is, yeah, before I knew you could polish them. And I have my crochet hooks in a jar, which I've just moved them into this jar today. My sister gave me some old jars because she loves wax, anything wax, like Yankee candles, and she's got all the wax burners and stuff. So this is an old Yankee candle glass pot. So she saves them for me so I can put bits like my buttons and stuff like that. Because I've got this one, and then I've got this little one. I think I've showed you these before. So when my sister gives me them, I find things to put in them for my crafting, because there's always little bits and pieces lying around. But yeah, so I had them in a different jar with pens, and that is all biro ink on the bottom of that hook because I never polished it and I never sanded it. I didn't know about this was made a couple of years ago. So oh, and that one as well. So all of the new hooks that I've done, because I haven't got round to polishing them and sanding them down yet, I haven't put them in here because I don't want them to get ruined. This one is my son's hook that he made. You can tell it's a bit wobbly all over the place, but my son made that one. So yeah, that's what you can do with some old jars. I might even make, like for this, just for decorative sake, a little lacy panel to go around the middle. Or do I? Because then I won't be able to necessarily see what hook I'm after. Something to think about. So yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, if you like those sort of hooks and that's something you can work with, go over onto Facebook and look for Polymer Maids. Who else have I been watching? I always seem to miss the lives. Whenever there's a live video on YouTube, I always miss it. It's like the next day I'll go onto YouTube and then I'll see that Jan's done a live video. I'm like, oh, I missed it again. So I'm always doing something, watching something. I started watching a new series on Netflix called Helix. Don't know if anyone's watched it. I literally watched near enough the whole of the first season in one day. I started watching it one night when there was nothing on TV, and I watched the first episode, and then I was like, oh, that looks a bit good. And then I woke up the next day quite early, because I have been getting up early this week, and normally I'm not up till about 12, but I've been up most mornings before 9, which is very, very unusual. I've been trying to reset my body clock, so I've been going to bed before 11 o'clock. So really, if I'm going to bed before 11 and I'm still waking up just before 9 o'clock, that's still a lot of sleep and I still feel tired. But yeah, so the other day I got up and there was nothing on, well, there was morning TV on. I watched the news and bits and pieces, but after all of that was finished, I put Netflix on and I watched the whole season. I was glued to it. But as you do when you're watching things on TV and you're crocheting, sometimes you look down and you miss bits. So I finished the whole of the first season and there is a second season to watch, and I'm debating at the moment whether I should go back and watch the first season again to make sure I haven't missed anything. So there was a few things that I missed. There was a couple of times I actually had to rewind because I didn't know what was going on at some points. So I'm debating whether to do that or not. Friday today, normally my son has trampolining, but over here in England it is half term from today. When they finish school, they're off for a week. So once the kids are on half term, the trampolining are on half term as well, because the clubs are done inside the school, so the schools are closed for a week. They ain't getting in. So he's got no trampolining now until June something, and then he's got a competition coming up. Actually, I've got to sort that out. So yeah, so today when he comes home from school, he's already said what he wants for dinner. So I've got to pop to good old Sainsbury's around the corner because I've run out of dog food as well. They had their last lot of food today, so I've got to go and grab a few bits. Hopefully it won't be raining when I go out, and then back home. So I am going to probably stop the video right here because I've been on for 28 minutes already, near enough, and then I'm going to go out into the hallway under my stairs and show you how I've sorted out all of my stash. I would just pick you up and take you now, but I'm recording on an iPad, and once you're recording video on an iPad, you can't turn the camera around. So it'd be hard for me to show you because at the moment the screen's facing me, so I can see everything, and I wouldn't be able to know what you're seeing if the screen's facing, if you get what I mean. I know what I'm talking about. Sounds mad, but I know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm going to pause right here, and then I'm going to go into my hallway and turn on the light because it's quite dark out there, and show you what I've done out there to try, well, what my sister mainly did. I helped a little bit when my sister did it and moaned the whole time that I was out of control for having so much yarn. I don't think I've got a lot, really. Whenever anyone says to me, you've got too much yarn, no I haven't. Have you seen Jan's house? Have you seen Jan's craft room? I say to them. They're like, no, who's Jan? Go on YouTube and look for Jan's craft room and then tell me I've got too much yarn. That is who I compare my stash to. So then it makes me feel better about my stash that I haven't got that much. I'd love to have Jan's craft room. I really would. I think my sister would stop talking to me if I have that much yarn. But anyway, I hope everyone is well. I'm going to leave it right here because I am waffling about God knows what. And then I will attach the other part of the video onto this one to show you what I have done out there. So I will be back in a second. Bye. Bye guys. So I don't know how clearly you can see this, but this is under my stairs. So you can see that's my hallway. Picture frames and everything up. This is under my stairs and it is fully taken up with yarn. So you can see I have yarn everywhere. So that is all yarn. In this box here, this is just Tupperware, well not Tupperware, but like a plastic container. In here is stuffing. I don't even know if you can see. Right, so stuffing that I use for toys. So I'll keep that in there and hidden. And that is a struggle to get in. Right, so if I move that and I move this, I'm going to try to do everything without swearing. Cairo, say hello. Hello. You see all these bits of string on the floor? That was his toy that he's chewed up and demolished and left everywhere. So, these boxes here, if you can see, oh, quite big. I have nine of these full up with yarn. So that's one there. And you can see these ones here. And they go back to the wall, all the way back to the wall. And then there's a shelf there. So, oh, let me just try and do this without killing myself or making too much mess, because my sister would be here in a minute. She'd be like, what have you done? What have you done? I sorted all of that out. Yeah, that's how she talks. Don't tell her I said that, no. Right. So, let's go back here. Dog, you're going to get trampled. So, as you can see, I don't even know if you can see that. It's so dark out here. So, as you can see, there's boxes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 of those boxes. Then I've got all of these drawers with yarn in. And I've got boxes here at the side with yarn. Let me get my phone, because if I put my flash on, I might be able to see a bit better. 1 second, guys. Oh. Right. Let's put the light on. There we go. I should have done that before. So, there you go. I've got boxes at the side. That is my stick for when I've got problems with my back and I can't walk very good. And this is, see, this one here is fabric and patterns and cotton, because I have got a sewing machine that I still haven't worked out how to use, but it is on my list of things to do. And this is all of my Caron Simply Soft. Oops. Put that in there. And here, this has got dummy clip stuff, because I do make dummy clips for people, and some cotton and stuff in there. Then all of this is all the big packs. Oops. Big packs of yarn that I've got. This is the blue here. That's So Crafty Aran, that blue one. Crown Blue, that's what it was called. I was making the mermaid tail with for my niece. So that's all of that. Then down here again, so you can see better now. See, those boxes, you can see the price on the side. They are free for £15. That's in a shop called QD's. So I got 9 of them in total. See, my sister tried to do it and tried to keep certain colours in certain boxes. And then there's these boxes here. And then it's finished items in there and bits and pieces. And another box here that we had no room to put anywhere, so they're just sitting there until they get used or I can find a home for them. And there's another set of drawers there. There's also one of these sets of drawers in the corner that I said that I was sorting out. That is also full of yarn and full of projects that are on the go and whatnot. So yeah, I don't think that's that much. Do you guys agree? And it's sorted out now. It's in some sort of order. I have been, as you can see, there's bags down there. I have been trying to use up my carrier bags and roll them up into balls. I've got a big one there, and there's another one started down there. So when I get carrier bags left over, that's what I do with them, so that I can start doing some bits with that. But yeah, that is my stash. Sorry about the first bit, it's being dark. I didn't think about getting my phone and the flash out at the time, blonde a moment. But yeah, not a lot. I don't think it's a lot. I could still think of so much more yarn that I want to get to put in here, but I'm not going to. It's not allowed, I'm under orders. But this does go quite far back. It is packed in as much as we could basically get in. So, ooh. So yeah, that is all of me. I better put all this back before my sister turns up and has a fit. But yeah, so this is my stash, guys. Not much. And I have to use some of it because I'm not allowed to buy no more. But I hope you guys enjoyed that little tour. Look, there's much to see because I haven't got a lot. And I'll add this onto my normal video and I will see you guys again soon. Okay? Take care, guys. Bye.